Welcome back. The UND women's basketball team picked up a big-time home win over Big Sky leaders Northern Colorado this past Saturday. For all the details on the 78-70 verdict at the Betty, here's head coach Travis Brewster with Alex Heinert.
Thanks, Kelly. Travis Brewster, just one game on the schedule this week for North Dakota, but a big one against Northern Colorado. An exciting game here at home. You pull out a 78-70 win over the Bears. A big win for this team.
Well, we needed it, right? We just needed a win, period. You know, it happened to be Northern Colorado's on the schedule, and they happened to be #1, and we made it interesting, obviously. Going in down at halftime, but happy for the team, happy how they played.
Yeah, an entertaining game certainly, and you mentioned that a tough first half. It was a back and forth first quarter, and then they went on a couple of big runs, a 15-0 run, an 11-2 run to close out the half. You trail by 14 at the break. What were they doing to pull themselves in front like that in that first 20
Well,
minutes?
they capitalized on their turnovers first and foremost. You look at it, we turned it over 9 times there in the first half, and they scored on all of them but 2. So, that's a big one in itself right there. So we're limiting our possessions, giving them extra possessions. Then you turn around and you add that. I thought we took some tough shots early in the clock. Some shots that we've talked about that are good shots, but you have to be able to identify the defense and things like that. And I thought the other part defensively, we weren't right on where we needed to be.
In the second half, things obviously changed. What was the message at halftime? What kind of got things going back your direction in that third quarter?
It wasn't like it was some, Newt Rockney speech or anything. It was just, it's pretty direct to the point of, hey, sometimes you have to make a decision of what you want in life and just say enough is enough. I'm going to do this. And they got their mindset right, and they came out and took care of business. Fallon Frigi was, I'm pretty sure pretty vocal in the locker room about it. And they said, this is what we're going to do, coach. And I said, all right, let's go out and do it.
And they did.
And they did.
They did right away. It was a great third quarter effort. You outscored the Bears 25-8 in that frame. 25 points, obviously, in a quarter is fantastic. But defensively, that's really where this game shifted.
Yeah, and that's something we've talked about. Is we have to do that for 4 quarters, not just 1. But to come out and establish yourselves right away at the half, that's tremendous effort, right? And a lot of communication out there. I changed our bench. I shortened up our bench a little bit. I said, hey, if we're going to make a run at this, we're going to keep our best defensive players out there and the ones that can, really scrap and get after it. And, I thought Melissa Daly kind of established herself a little bit defensively. Obviously she made some key baskets for us, but, defensively she did a very good job. And Michaela Ranke was, drawing some tough assignments as well.
Yeah, you held them to 2 of 13 shooting in that third frame. That was enough to pull you ahead, and then you held on from there, a big fourth quarter as well to earn the 78-70 victory. A lot of individual kids stepped up. You mentioned Melissa on the defensive end. She scores 17 points, hits, I think, 6 3-pointers in that game. Lexi Claybo goes for 16 points, 17 rebounds for Lexi. And then Jill Morton, another big game for her, 22 points, second straight game she's gone for 22. Was this just a good reminder for your team just of how good they can play when they put their minds to it?
Well, yeah, and the big thing is you have to be selfless out there while you're playing. You look at those players' numbers. Jill was great attacking the rim. Fallon did a nice job, and obviously Melissa. But Fallon Frigi, we moved her to the small forward spot in the middle of the game, having practiced it. She had that assignment offensively and defensively. That's a big deal for somebody that's not her natural position. But she did a nice job with it. We even went the bigger lineup at one point just to try to offset a little bit. And you got to credit the players for getting it done.
Yeah, the win over the league leaders puts you now at 2-5 in conference, 8-1 at home, and you have 2 more home games coming up this week. Eastern Washington on Thursday, Idaho on Saturday. You've already seen these 2 teams on the road this season. It's a couple tough losses going out west earlier this year. How do you reverse those verdicts against the Eagles and the Vandals this weekend?
First and foremost, we got to focus on, obviously, Eastern Washington, and the big thing with them is we can't let them get easy looks. We really gave them some really wide open looks, especially down the stretch with a 12-point lead with 5 minutes to go. You just can't do that and let their best player get the looks. Then you turn around and you talk about playing Idaho next. The big thing about them, they score in bunches, so you got to slow them down. Those threes are, they bring them out left and right like rain, so we got to slow it down.
A couple big games coming up here. A great chance to support this team in person Thursday at 7 o'clock against Eastern, Saturday at 2. Brew, best of luck against those 2 opponents. Have fun this weekend here at the Betty.
I appreciate it. Our fans were great this past weekend too.
You can tell they really lifted this team. A great home team here for UND.
Yep.
Now they got to just get it done on the road in a couple of weeks. Travis Brewster, thanks again.
Thank you.
Kelly, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Alex. Well, coming up next, USD's Tyler Hagedorn gives us a lesson on how to pronounce his hometown. Learn all about the Nebraska native next.